you think you can actually, there are two options. You can put it a bit lower, and it's going to be not ideal, but you can actually hold it in your hand if it's okay for you.
And also just like do this.
Yes, and put it higher. If it's not going to be too tight of a shirt.
Nah, that's fine. I actually just got it today at the Maiden.
No, nice.
Yeah, I forget the name of the store, but
was it the Ukrainian store?
Yeah.
A store of only Ukrainian brands. Maybe всі свої?
Yeah, I think so. The Ya something.
Yeah.
This also is not ideal.
Also?
Is this ideal?
No, let me actually just put it here. It's gonna be enough.
Okay, I will talk louder.
Yeah. There's some soup there, so be careful. It might. I think a napkin is what we need. It's not starting. Oh, it has started. Sorry, guys. We were not paying attention to you. Sorry. But we are now. So let me see.
It looks like I'm massaging the table with the napkin.
It's funny.
Where do you see the comments though?
I just need to restart the YouTube app because it's acting up, guys. It's not working properly right now. It should be working now. Yes, it's a vertical stream now. So, guys, you recognize the place. It's a coffee shop called Coffee Records, and we have some coffee. Cold. Mine is cold. Yours is
cappuccino.
What are we drinking for?
With actual real milk in it. Which is rare these days.
Well, coffee nut shots, like longs, right?
Yeah, yours has bubbles. It literally had bubbles in it. It was
bubbly.
sparkling.
Yeah. It was mixed to become a bubbly one. Hello, rollers. Hello, Rick and Steffen. You see what we have here?
You guys made one?
Yeah, our amazing moderator Andreas Lach is making these. I'm looking for him in the chat, but oh, here he is.
I want one.
So you know, he also created this one.
That's
it's
awesome.
you.
That's cool. I'm honored. Thank you for making this for me.
Great to see you, Steffen. You see it?
Yeah, and I know Nikki. Yeah, hi.
Do you know Epitox?
No, not yet. I haven't had the pleasure.
Epitox is a fellow American, and he is an active roller. And thank you for that, Epitox, and everyone here. Philip Allward is a very active roller from Belgium. Yes, from Belgium. Belgium.
Is he part of the Belgian battalion?
No, I don't think so. Or maybe. Philip, are you?
Just like the people who contribute to the NAFO campaigns from Belgium? Yeah.
I think he might be doing that because, but he definitely contributes to my NAFO truck campaigns. And guys, just to remind you that we have the NAFO truck campaign right now. Have you noticed it on their website?
Yeah. I mean, like, the Jake Bro campaigns is getting a lot of the attention, right? Because they raised like $1 million. I'm still trying to contribute to all the campaigns because if I want to keep the momentum going forward.
Awesome, thank you for that. Let me shake your hand. It's really cool that you try to contribute to each of them because you probably understand how important it is to get the consistency. Like if you donate, let's say, not a big donation, but there are no small donations, but they could be smaller than others, right? Yeah. So if you, for example, I try to donate to every fundraiser a bit more than $10. So like every fundraiser I see, I try to contribute to that. But not all, I apologize, guys, but it applies only to Ukrainian fundraisers that have monobank jars. I don't support every campaign of 69th Infantry Brigade. I would have liked to, but for that, to get the patch, I would have to donate 100 euros to each campaign.
That's a bit too much if you want to spread it out a bit. And I think also it's really great for inviting new people to do the fundraisers. Like, so I did a whole patches campaign back, it finished in May, and it was not easy for me because my YouTube channel was all about urban planning, and so like a lot of people in my audience were like, okay, so where's the connection to Ukraine here? So I didn't have a YouTube channel that just talked about Ukraine. But the fact that it was successful, was really motivating, and it made me want to keep doing more. And so I think it's also like a bit like an investment where, spread your donations out to multiple smaller fundraisers, and they're going to want to keep going. And those are going to grow over time. Like Jake Bro's campaign started off with just 2 trucks, and then it was a massive success. It didn't start like, I want to raise $1 million and then another $1 million later.
Yeah.
It just turned out that way because you guys decided that you wanted it to be that successful. So,
that's really cool. And I think first time we drank to Jake Bro's campaigns.
Yes.
Once again.
Thank you, Jake Bro, if you're watching. Thank you. I'm a big fan.
No,
making us Americans look good. There's too much negative.
Now we gotta actually make Denis Davidov join those campaigns.
Yes.
He has a huge audience, and he needs to invest to Ukrainian army with his audience. It would be amazing because.
Has he never done one before?
No, not a single fundraiser, as I heard. I don't know if, but he will start soon. Believe me. I have some.
I'm curious to see how you're going to convince him.
It's not going to be me, but I have friends.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. It's just, that's the one thing I like about YouTube is that I think sometimes it encourages you to do the right thing. So, again, going back to Jake Bro as an example, like his $1 million fundraiser, well, that's probably going to grow his audience in the long run because now he has a lot more attention and a lot more people are paying attention to him because he has such a successful fundraiser. So, if you just want to argue about it purely based off of self-interest, you can still probably make a good case for it. You don't have to argue about it just for self-interest, but.
Yeah, you know what? I would be honest. We all doing good things. We always receive something for ourselves.
Yeah.
And people's motivation to do good things is always partially selfish, and that's okay. There's no problem with that because that's how we humans work. That's our nature, and that's okay. We better do good things and profit from it than do bad things and profit from it, right?
Yeah, no, it's good that we enjoy doing selfless things. That's how humanity works. It would be strange if it didn't.
And it's really pleasant to give, it's really a very pleasant thing. I notice it myself. Rollers taught me that, and I actually shared this information with you guys.
Project Constantine, yeah.
Complete Pete campaign. Yes, that's what we gotta do. I think I'm gonna make the brightness lower to get more of a charge in the end.
Yeah.
So guys, just want to quickly ask you to like the stream because it helps with engagement. After it ends, please also put the comment down. Yeah.
A heart and a thumbs up and share.
Yeah, please do that.
Speaking of also helping, I also wanted to plug an organization I started volunteering with a few months ago.
Let's do it.
So I live. Some of you guys know I'm originally from California, but I live in the Netherlands for the last almost 4 years. And there's an organization, and I believe Ukrainians pronounce it Razzle.
Razom.
And they are purely focused on helping Ukrainian refugees who come to the Netherlands who are fleeing the war. And most of the people there are women and children, and it's all about trying to create a community for them to have, away from home. Then they have a lot of resources, events for the kids, education for the kids being away from home, and also things like English lessons, Ukrainian lessons, trying to share the Ukrainian language with the rest of the world. It's
Is it being annoying?
No, it's fine. It's it was a little unexpected, but it's fine. I lost my train of thought there for a second.
Sorry, man. Humanitarian help.
Yes, humanitarian help. Yeah, and it was interesting because I originally got involved by helping out the brigade, and I was like, wait a minute, there's an organization just down the street from where I live that does this locally. I should see what they're doing, and then now I'm actually trying to figure out a way where I can kind of combine those two things where. We have a lot of Ukrainians at Raffle who have time, who can provide labor for certain projects, and I know some people who want to bring more help to Ukraine who need help. So I'm trying to think about how to combine those two together.
So yeah, as you know, guys, Steffen he discussed it just 5 minutes ago. he had his own NAFO truck campaign. It was an awesome big patch, built the lanes. I didn't get one. If you have a spare one, I would really like to get it. Thank you. While you're here in Ukraine, for how many days are you here this time?
So I'm staying a bit longer this time. So I'm going to be in Kiev for a few days. Then I'm going to Vinnytsia.
Vinnytsia?
One of my friends recommended it to me. And then Ternopil for a day. And then back home.
Yeah, Ternopil is a great place. Vinnytsia too.
I hear they have pretty trams in Vinnytsia.
Yeah, I think
that's what I've been told. But we'll see.
Well, it's to be honest, in Vinnytsia, there are not that many places to see in Vinnytsia itself. Like 3 or 4 cool places. But in Vinnytsia Oblast, if you have time to travel around, sometimes, like maybe not this time. But yeah, always, like in every oblast of Ukraine, not necessarily in the center of that oblast, there are so many awesome attractions. Okay, guys, we gotta read the chat and actually ask, first say hi to Rose Rohaley, Cheryl Waitley, Kane KGG, Martin Bissig, Rep Tyree. Rep Tyree, by the way, said here, awesome, another California Oblast fundraiser, NorCal here.
Oh, NorCal. Okay, that's where I'm from. I'm from near Sacramento, a little town called Auburn.
What's NorCal? Northern California?
Yeah. So it's often this joke that California is kind of 2 states. So NorCal is generally the Bay Area where San Francisco is. And if you just draw a straight line across and go up, that's NorCal. And then SoCal is everything south.
Below that. Okay.
SoCal is more of the beaches. Like SoCal is more of the stereotypical California. And NorCal has mountains, you can go skiing, like it has the tech hubs, it's a bit different.
So Northern California is what we see in the movies?
No, SoCal is with the beaches. NorCal has all the non-stereotypical stuff.
Okay, got it. So Rep Tyree is from non-stereotypical part. Okay, got it. So guys, about the Project Constantine, Pete's campaign, yes, we gotta complete that. I mean, we gotta contribute to completing that, because for our community, it's too much of a big goal. Too big. Okay, that goal is too big, right? 320,000 pounds.
Yeah,
that's a lot. I think if we do it for like a few months or half a year, we would close that campaign only with rollers, only with my community. But by the way, do you know who Rick Rollers are?
Yeah, you know
community. Yeah. Because I'm using that term, I assume that you already know it, but I'm not sure, so I need to ask.
Yes, I do.
That's what I do.
I also know where it comes from. You got Rick rolled.
Yeah, and I think we're not going to be able to hear Never Gonna Give You Up because we're streaming from the phone, guys. We have no alerts here. But I think we can actually add them here. Wow, I need to try to do it.
Ooh, some people will say they remember me. Can I?
Yes, of course. I remember Steffen came from Merck on the July... with Merck.
Oh yeah, Andrew Mercado. Yeah.
You came with him?
Yeah, I was his co-driver actually.
Nice.
So because we're both American, we can't drive manual. So like we had to tell them like, hey, can you put us on the automatic car? They didn't have too many, so they just stuck the 2 Americans together.
Martin Bissig is today's sponsor for 2 coffees. Thank you very much, Martin, for that. Yes. 10 Czech forints.
CHF.
CHF.
I thought that was Swiss franc. Isn't it? CHF is Swiss franc?
CHF? Maybe franc? Yeah, probably franc. I'm not very good at that. Sorry, my friend. By the way, Martin, can you please remind me once again where you're from? Because I'm in the upcoming video, I'm gonna embarrass myself. Or I already did that. I already did that with Solovey. I said, Martin Bissig won your flag. Solovey is a soldier, is a sniper, cool guy from Kuchisko Battalion. I met them a few days ago, and I was like, oh, your flag is gonna hang on the wall somewhere in Germany, or is it? And I was like, where Martin Bissig is from? And I embarrassed myself because Martin Bissig already told me like 5 times where he's from.
So in your defense, you meet a lot of people.
Switzerland.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, Martin. Sorry for that. Switzerland. I will not forget anymore. Because, you know, in Switzerland they speak German too?
Yeah, they speak 3 languages, French, Italian, and German.
So there's no Swiss language?
No.
Okay. This is why I thought that Martin...
It's understandable.
Cool excuse I found, right, Martin?
Yeah.
Switzerland, yes. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, hello, Lisa. Thank you, Reptyree, for 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. Unrelated topic, but Switzerland is like famous for being expensive, and the trains are expensive, but I have never seen such a clean train toilet in my entire life. Like, that whole place was spotless. I would happily pay the prices there to take the trains in Switzerland.
Money being spent, all of those taxes.
As a transportation guy, it makes me very happy. Yeah.
Mr. Kaplan, thank you so much. 50
€50.
euro super
Wow.
chat. Thank you so
That's
much.
what helped Project Constantine a lot.
Slava Ukraini. Greetings from Finland. Unfortunately, to be transparent, I am a transparent guy. I'm not taking this money, I'm not putting this money into any fundraisers. I take them for myself. All the super chats, gifted memberships, it's to support my project.
Gotcha.
Separately, people can donate either to PayPal to make a donation for the army, and they can actually send money through the base. Formerly it was Buy Me a Coffee, but Buy Me a Coffee is abandoned in Ukraine.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. What the hell's up with that?
Have you seen my video now?
Not that one.
No problem. I was the one to start that campaign to make them reconsider, and they did. They reconsidered. They're not going to abandon Ukraine completely, but they are not going to help me to actually make it officially. So they withdraw funds. They let us withdraw funds only on our personal cards, personal bank accounts. I'm a private entrepreneur now. I do it like a journalist, like a YouTuber, officially.
Yeah.
And I need to receive money only on my private entrepreneur account. And they won't let me. They said, you know what, the company that provides us the wire transfer service, they don't allow to do that. So we can just recommend you to receive money on your personal account. And I am like, no, dudes, thank you, but I don't want to dodge taxes in my country.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So I'm forced to leave Buy Me a Coffee.
What's the reasoning behind them leaving?
Well, the problem is they had a payment system called Payoneer,
Okay.
available for Ukrainians, and wire transfer. But I never used wire transfer, and once you choose one of the options, the other option is not available to you. So I've chosen Payoneer. I was using it the whole time, and now they say, now we will only support Stripe, and Stripe is not available in Ukraine. And then I was like, what the fuck, guys? You're abandoned in Ukraine in this case. And their excuse is, we're not actually stopping working with Payoneer. It's Payoneer who stops working with us. So it's all their fault.
It sounds like an American excuse.
It's just any corporation
Rebranding.
classic excuse, you see, in the reels, you can do it like this, and you switch to the next stream.
Yeah.
All right, we're done.
Okay.
West Coast, another guy from the West Coast this year.
Nice. Golbimon, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Reptyree, thank you for 10 more gifted memberships. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that a lot. And hello to you, everyone who's joining the stream. We only have 50 likes. We have 67 people watching and only 50 likes. So please give us more likes, because maybe we're not talking about too serious stuff today, like genocide that is happening here in Ukraine and our resistance, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that right now. I want to ask you.
You have an American in front of you.
Yeah, how you initially started supporting Ukraine. When did it happen, and how did it happen? And what did you feel? What was your motivation, Steffen?
Okay. Wow. Okay. Putting you on the spot there. So, if I'm being completely honest and transparent with you, I think I used to view the whole situation quite differently, because I grew up during the Iraq War, and that was kind of something that was sold to the American public, saying, okay, there's this country in the Middle East, and we're going to go in, and we're going to make the place democratic, we're going to give people rights, we're going to make everything better. Of course, that's not how it turned out. And so my generation, who also then, volunteered in the military, kind of developed some cynicism towards what our government told us. So it's like, okay, it's like, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not that. It's probably not that good. So then when the whole invasion started in 2014, I think like a lot of other Americans were like, okay, this is a problem, but I think if the U.S. gets involved, it'll maybe make the situation worse. So the people were like putting it kind of at arm's distance.
The famous American imperialism.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because the idea was that if we send troops on the ground, it's gonna like Iraq, it's gonna make it much worse for everybody. And then like that kind of more or less like was always going on in the background. And then when 2022 happened, I remember like I told some friends of mine, I was like, there's no way Putin would be stupid enough to do this. And then like I remember like turning on the TV when I woke up and I saw the headlines, and I literally like bolted out of bed because I was like the world that we live in has completely changed overnight.
Yeah.
Like everything we knew is different now. And ever since that moment, like I've been following the war almost every single day. And people at CASM also ask me, hey, why do you care so much? You're not Ukrainian, you don't have any connections to Ukraine. And I explained to them, well, the world we live in is only possible because after World War II, in 1945, we all agreed, okay, these are the set borders we all agree on, internationally recognized borders, and we're not going to use force anymore to change those. All nations have a right to exist, and we're not going to conquer each other anymore. And that is the only reason we've been able to survive as a species, because we now have nuclear weapons. And the absolute worst thing for humanity would be that a country with nuclear weapons then go ahead and do whatever it wants, and it can invade any country without nuclear weapons. And that's something that becomes a precedent, then I think that you're going to make a nuclear war pretty much like inevitable, because then every country is going to realize the only way to protect yourself from a full-scale invasion is the nuclear deterrent. And I think that's something most people can agree on. Is like, yeah, that's something we don't want. So that's why I tell everybody, like, this is it doesn't matter if you're Ukrainian or not. Like, this is a concern for everybody in the world. If we like this mostly relatively peaceful world we've lived in since the end of World War II, we need to fight now. Now is the time where we fight to make sure that the world we grew up in as kids, like our kids are also going to inherit that same world. And we shouldn't just take it for granted.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like the driving logic behind why I've cared so much this entire time. Like, yeah, the war has been going on almost for 3 years now, almost 1,000 days now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Today is 946.
Yeah, 946, and most likely going to hit 1,000, unfortunately.
Oh yeah,
maybe even more.
You will.
But yeah, that's kind of why I got started, and it's still why I started, and that's why I'm always. I keep on trying to escalate my support a little bit. So first it started like financially, then started with me coming to Ukraine with the 69th Steffen Brigade, then volunteering locally. And I was telling some people, like, I feel like I'm a few months away from doing something super drastic. I don't know what it is yet, but I think in a few months I might have something interesting to share with you guys.
He already shared it with me, but I see it's still a secret, a project in development.
I have some details that still need to be worked out, because when someone asks me how, I'm like, that's a great question. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
CV, get out of your matrix. Yeah, exactly. That's what Steffen did, and everyone should do it, because a lot of people in the States still live in their own matrix of the scary U.S. imperialism set in their bases everywhere. That's crazy. It's much worse than invading other countries and committing genocide, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like...
I'm being sarcastic. It's obvious, but...
It's not like we try to make Iraq the 51st state of the United States, right? Or making it I think something that I'm really disappointed in is that we made it kind of this Republican versus Democrat issue on Ukraine.
Yeah.
And traditionally, foreign policy has always been the one area where both of the parties agreed, because the precedent was, okay, bipartisan partisan politics ends at our shores. So once we start dealing with other countries, that's when we're united. I wanted to mention this. Maybe if you have any like hardcore Republicans who are listening to your stream, a lot of people don't know this, but President Trump was actually the first president who authorized military aid to Ukraine when he became president.
Javelins, right?
Yeah, he was the first one. Obama didn't do it when the Russia invaded, and it's like, and what a drastic change it is now. Like, and so when I have people who defend Trump's position, I'm like, well, what's your opinion on Trump sending military aid to Ukraine, like, when he was president? Like, it doesn't make any logical sense.
No. I can always give you some rationalization. Like, but he made a mistake back then.
Do you really think Trump's going to admit to saying, I made a mistake? Like, that would require Trump being wrong, right?
Well, he is close to saint, okay? But he was making mistakes before. He was not, like, kind of wise enough. I can always give you some stupid cope.
Yeah, coping mechanism.
So it's
copium.
Kripke reminded me, but I know that Kripke, that the war started in 2014. It escalated 3 years ago. Yes, I know, and I was the victim of that. Do you know where I'm originally from? I told you. You remember?
Yeah, you're from the Crimea, right?
No, from Makivka, Donetsk Oblast. And actually, this war. Yeah, this war affected me back then, and I lived in occupation for 4.5 years, and that was a shitty experience.
Yeah.
That Russian world brings only decay.
Yeah.
And it's really, there's no fucking growth there, no fucking perspectives for you, no gain. Only if you're a thug, like any Putin's,
if you agree with this world
followers, you're gonna be agreeing with the total corruption that Russia is, and you gotta be living that way. If you don't want to do this, you will just end up suffering there, not prospering.
So I had a question for you about that. So, do you know how many people when the war started back in 2014? How many people left the Donetsk area?
About 50%, man. It's that big. Migration was that big. Around 2 million people migrated from those two oblasts, from Luhansk and Donetsk oblasts.
And I think that's something that isn't talked enough about, especially in the West, because I sometimes have people try to argue with me saying, well, the East is different, man. The people there are much more pro-Russia. They wanted it, and
they
I'm like,
did not.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, if that's true, why did 2 million people leave? And then it's like, and then they go, okay, who remains? Okay, that required moving 2 million people, which is like, if you need to move 2 million people to do anything, that's clearly not popular or widely supported. So, I would, anyone else also listening to the chat, if you ever hear the argument, I think that's something that should really be brought up, is saying like, hey, did you know that 2 million people literally had to be like forced to relocate because they didn't support that? Maybe it's even more than 2 million, because that may just be the official numbers. But.
Yeah, same happened to the citizens of Ukraine who lived in Crimea. They also moved to other regions. I'm not sure if the number of them reached 1 million people, but there were definitely hundreds of thousands of people leaving Crimea when Russia annexed it. And a lot of people stopped coming there. Okay, we have Russian bots. Nice. From Gaza to the sea, Russian will be free.
Maybe from Putin someday.
Yeah, maybe. But there should be a different flag there, not that rag that you should shove your ass or just maybe boots with.
Also, is the argument that Gaza is part of Russia? Like,
well, Hamas is a partner of Russia. Right. So when those people who actually, basically they, if they support Hamas, then they will say it's Gaza, not Hamas, right? Because they don't separate that. They kind of think that Hamas represents Gaza, and Gaza, that I actually
that's
don't.
That's the whole situation.
Don't want to get there.
I know as an American, geography is not supposed to be my strong suit, but I'm pretty sure Gaza isn't in Russia.
Yeah, it's just Rick. The problem is the world don't see that it started in 2014. They have to be reminded. It's sad, but it's how it is. Yeah, Kripke.
Yeah,
and thank you that you actually put that comment out there so we could discuss that and I could share my experience and observation about 2 million people. Well, I did not see all 2 million because I was not standing there on the tower counting how many people left and how many of them came back. Of course, I'm just making not a joke, but kind of ironizing here. Yeah. Irony. Yeah, but anyway, fuck Putin, exactly. Ich bought the re. Slava Ukraini, героям слава. Hey, you're a bench. I'm happy to see you. Gaza is on the sea.
It's next to the sea. It's not on the sea.
No, it's sea. It's not sea.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm like, do you know what the phrase "is on the sea" means?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It should be C-A with A in the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Eurobench, how are you doing? Eurobench is from Israel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, an Israeli roller. By the way, Eurobench, please contact me on Discord or on email and send me your address because I owe a patch to every roller. Do you consider yourself a Rick roller?
I mean, I contribute to your campaign, so yeah.
Well, then I have this for you. Well, this.
Got another Rick roller patch. Hey. Oh no, this one's Rick. This is the roller patch.
This
now.
is the roller patch.
I thought this was gonna be the Rick the Ukrainian patch.
No, I've given you the Rick the Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Right?
So, be like,
so guys, this one is special.
Rick roller.
It's Rick roller. Let's see if it's mirrored. I think it it is. Okay. Come on. The delay. Yeah, it's mirrored, but whatever, guys.
Okay. Well, it's not mirrored to us. Gaza is east of the Mediterranean Sea. Yes, yeah, good. There's maybe there's some Russian bots in the comments.
This is yours.
You need to learn that. Thank you. Thank you. Wait, if I flip it like this, will it?
No, there's actually a setting.
How do you compensate? Problem started in 2014.
There are settings here. I can actually make it work, but I don't like it mirrored, so I'm not gonna do it, guys. Sorry, I just don't like it mirrored.
To say Kamala is a better choice of the two is insane. To have to argue that is insane. Like, it should be obvious that Kamala is better than Trump. And, like, that's the embarrassing thing is like it shouldn't be a close contest. Like it should be like she should be 40 points ahead of the polls.
Yeah.
It should be a blowout.
But you see, the problem is, as a Ukrainian, I may say that Kamala is better for Ukraine than Trump.
Yeah.
Because Trump can actually turn around 180 degrees if he wins. He may turn 100 because he's a populist. He will say whatever.
Yeah.
And I think he's unpredictable. He can keep supporting Ukraine, right? After he gets elected.
I wouldn't bet on it, but that's possible.
Because whatever he says is not true, right? So how can we honestly believe what he says?
Well, I think also
that he will not support Ukraine.
I think also,
and he doesn't say that, by the way.
No, yeah, I mean he's talking about selling out Ukraine lately, but
he's stuck in. He says only about the ending of the war, but it's impossible. Even if he's friends with Putin and if he's willing to give Ukrainian territory up, it won't stop the war because you cannot negotiate with Putin, and we will not do it. He will not force us. You know, he may stop giving us weapons.
Yeah.
But he will never force us to surrender our territory. We will keep fighting even without those weapons.
Do you know the YouTuber William Spinell? He makes videos about YouTube.
No,
and,
I don't know.
So he made a really great point. He said, look, if you were to cut off the supply of weapons to Ukraine, it's actually going to prolong the war because then what's going to happen is that Russia will see, hey, we can now accomplish more with aggression because now Ukraine has fewer weapons. So it's like, if you shift the goalposts like that, it's not as simple as saying cut off the weapons, no more fighting. It's actually, no, you're making it easier for one side to get what they want, which is going to give them every incentive to do so.
We're just going to keep losing our territories just like we do now, but faster. Like, they will kill more of our people, they will capture territories faster, but they will never, no one can make us surrender.
Yeah.
Not Trump, not Putin. We will just fight until the very end. That's it.
Because they don't. I mean, let's be frank. You guys don't have a choice. Like,
exactly.
So liberty or death, like Patrick Henry said. Yeah.
We have no other choice. Holy Oblation, thank you for that $10 super chat. Thank you for all you do from all us rollers. Thank you so much, my friend. Holy Oblation is a Texian with his wife Silver Earth.
Oh, from Texas?
Yeah, they are from Texas. They are here in the chat. Silver Earth. Are you also there? She's always there too, just like Holy Oblation. One of the most dedicated rollers. Thank you guys. You are fantastic. Chris smokes Putin's pink cigar. Who is Chris in this case? Do you know who Yola Swaggins is talking about?
I know a lot of Chris's, but not one that smokes his cigar. No. Someone said something about going to Ukraine. I thought I just read. I thought the guy's name was Aiden. Maybe I missed it.
Keep scrolling. It's okay.
Yeah, sorry guys. I haven't been reading all the comments. Like
I always have this problem too. Yeah. When we have a conversation with my guests, it's easy to get distracted from the chat because, well, I think that's one of the. Okay, reading the comments is important because streams are about communicating with your audience. Yeah. But when audience grows bigger, it's getting harder to get all the messages.
You can't talk to everybody all at once.
There are so many of them, and you still need to keep up with the conversation with your interlocutor, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, he said, Trump said he will end the war, but you never said how he will do it. Yeah, also, there's a guy called Neville Chamberlain. He was the Prime Minister of the UK when Hitler came to power, and he tried giving Hitler everything he wanted by selling Czechoslovakia out. And he got a little piece of paper from Hitler saying, like, from Mustache Man, hey, I will not invade the rest of Europe. And then we all know how that turned out. So,
okay, so he was almost the Scholz.
Almost. Yeah.
Well, I think, guys, in my opinion, Scholz still wants to keep business with Russia. This is why he is not giving us the
Taurus.
Well, Taurus is an assault weapon, not the defensive weapon. This is why I think he is hesitating that much.
Yeah, but I don't think it works that way. Like, these weapons aren't like strictly offensive or defensive because you can use an offensive weapon defensively, right? You can, if you, for instance, take the Taurus missile and you blow up a Russian airfield that's bombing Ukrainian cities, I think you could argue that that's a defensive act because you're stopping Russian bombers from attacking Ukrainian cities. So I feel like there's this like a line drawn between offensive and defensive. That's like, yeah, maybe that makes sense to Scholz, but I don't think that's really how it works in reality.
Yeah, it's not. And he was also giving us tanks. Germany has provided us with some Leopard tanks. Unfortunately, a lot less than we need in quantity, but still, it's a help. And we're grateful for that. We're not being ungrateful. The problem is, guys, I see sabotage all around with, for example, giving us weapons too slowly, delaying that, making some obstacles. Like, it is everywhere, even from our dear partners, like Biden, who said that Putin is already defeated a few days ago. Putin has already lost this war because he did not reach the goals he set in 2022. Ukraine is still standing. It is sovereign. It is, what else? He said in his speech. He's never talking about the territorial integrity of Ukraine.
Yeah.
He never said that during this almost 3 years. He still leaves the possibility that Ukraine will lose some territory.
And that's why
he's okay with that.
That's why I don't like it when people say we're with Ukraine as long as it takes them, like, as long as what takes, you know, like for Zelensky to take a nap? Like, no, like, say you want Ukraine to win.
Yeah, and he's not fucking saying that.
Yeah, and
that's the problem with Biden and his administration. I'm sorry, but I have problems with them now.
No, and what's frustrating for me as an American is, like, you know, I pay U.S. taxes. Even though I live in the Netherlands, I still pay U.S. taxes. The U.S., it's sometimes hard for people to wrap their brain around how many weapons the U.S. has. It's a lot. If we really wanted, we could send so many weapons to Ukraine that this war would be over in 3 months. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Or just starting to do it, Putin saying like, oh my God, the U.S. is finally sending everything to Ukraine.
But the U.S. doesn't want that.
But the fact that it's within our power to do it, and that's what infuriates me, is that this could have been over a year ago.
Yep. Not a year, man. 2 years ago. It could be over in half a year.
Yeah.
If we did not lose that momentum after the Kharkiv operation and after the Kherson liberation. that momentum, like it completely depends on the shipment of the military aid, and they slowed it down intentionally because Biden is openly saying that he is afraid of Russia disintegrating, of the escalation so-called, and they are worried about those smaller countries then will use nuclear weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really bad thinking though, I think, because I think it's like that's not our decision to make, you know, like if anybody's gonna be responsible for Russia disintegrating, that's Putin. That was his decision to make these actions, to make it happen. He set certain things in motion that cannot be undone now. And if you ask me, the disintegration of Russia is much less dangerous to the world than letting a country with nuclear weapons take over other countries for exactly the reasons we talked about earlier. So I was like, okay, well, which world would you rather live in? You know, and if you ask me, when the Soviet Union collapsed, I think the world became a much safer place. If you think about how many nuclear weapons used to exist in the world, it was like tens and tens of thousands. And after the Soviet Union collapsed, we had historic nuclear arms reduction. So why wouldn't it be the same case if Russia dissolved?
Well,
I think it would be.
You see, the problem here is nuclear weapons quantity reduction back then was only like temporarily. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was still impossible for it to happen completely, like full.
No, not complete, but we went from like 40,000 to like 10,000. Like, we went up by a lot.
How many nukes do you think it's going to be enough to make this world stop existing? I think 20 to 50 will be enough, right? You think we will ever be able to reach that number of nukes? I mean, below?
I mean, there's like a philosophical answer to that, and then like a realistic answer.
Okay, give me the philosophical one first.
I think the philosophical answer is 1, because if you use 1, then you've normalized it, and then everybody will start doing it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why it's such a big deal, where like, it's also why China and India tell Putin, do not use a nuclear weapon.
This is why this fucking bluff of Putin is so... it is working, you know, because... But not against Ukrainians. There are no red lines there.
And that's the other thing that drives me crazy. I was like, guys, if Ukraine, who is in this hypothetical scenario the most at risk of being nuked, if they want to keep fighting and they want to escalate, it's like, if they want it, who are we to tell them no? It's like it's not us who's at risk; it's you guys who are at risk.
Yeah. So
and it's so. If it wasn't so tragic, it would be funny. You know, like how much little it makes sense.
Yep, you're right.
We should probably catch up with some comments.
I have a donation, $75 from Colonel Son. Thank you so much for that. It will go to our current fundraiser for electronic warfare for 28th Brigade. We are raising 210,000 hryvnias, which is basically a bit more than $5,000. I think we're only like 2,000 away from the goal, even less than the 1.5. Yeah. Pretty cool. And also,
should we scroll back a little bit?
Yeah, we should. But I want to thank Chris from HR for 15.
That was probably the Chris that you asked about. Someone was probably talking to him.
Yeah. That was probably the Chris. Okay, Denmark is amazing with the support to Ukraine.
Yes,
exactly.
Thank you for the F-16s.
Oh yeah, literally, in not in an American English, but in a British English. Literally, fascism. Literal fascism.
Love from Poland to Ukraine, love to Germany.
My country, Denmark, is only 6 meters people big. What? 6 million people big. It's not meters, it's million. I know we help Ukraine a lot. Hope other country will do the same. Thank you guys. You are amazing. Yeah. Indeed.
I wish the US would send F-16s also. Like, we're retiring it. Like, we're literally getting rid of... And this is going to make you mad. We are putting F-16s in the junkyard. It would be cheaper to send it to
I'm sorry, but fuck you, Biden.
Yeah.
Like, to all the Biden lovers there, I apologize.
Yeah. No, but it's kind of like, you know, just because you're voting against Trump doesn't mean the status quo is good. And,
Yeah.
it's a lesser of two evils argument. And I will hope that Kamala maybe appoints people who are more pro-Ukraine, because Jake Sullivan is just...
Yeah, but
He's not good.
But I think the agenda will remain the same because it's the agenda of their administration, and Kamala is part of their administration. She was always okay with that for 2.5 years. She never opposed that.
Yeah, I think
You
the
know?
problem is that she hasn't come up with her own plan. That's the problem is that if she came out with her own plan, I'm inclined to agree with you. And I think she could clear it up if she actually said, this is my official policy.
Yeah, this is my
I think
position.
she should do that. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think she will just keep doing what Biden's administration is doing now if she wins the election. Thank you for 5 more gifted memberships, Chris. Thank you. Where are you from, Chris? HR? What's an HR? What do you think? Chris from HR.
HR usually stands for human
Resources.
Human
I know.
resources. I was forgetting my English,
Oh.
and it means like the people who do all the paperwork and like make sure no one harasses anyone else.
Yeah, I think Chris maybe just work in HR, and it's not the location that he's from, right?
They're the people who talk to you when you make a joke that's not workplace appropriate.
Why keep the Nazi around? You think he's American? Who are you talking to, and who are you talking about or of? Jasped? Are you talking about Jake Sullivan? Is he a Nazi? I doubt that, but he is definitely not very efficient. Well, the de-escalation is leading to only an escalation from tyrants around the world. That's such a fucking bullshit.
So you want to know what Putin and the mustache man have in common?
Okay, Mustache Man is who?
Hitler.
Uh-huh.
And they both have in common. They both invaded Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's like that. That's what fascists do. They invade Ukraine.
Yeah, it's an indicator. I was talking to Starsky by phone yesterday. He told me about his new project, and he shared some observations with me, and it's like a different topic. I don't know why it came up in my head, but shit.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was probably
That's
the.
okay. But he told me that he came to a conclusion that may sound obvious, but you actually gotta come to it. That Russian propaganda, it cultivates violence and hate.
Yeah.
It never gives you something positive.
Yeah.
It only focuses, and it always works on those feelings in people. If they feel frustration, if they feel injustice,
Yeah.
they should be fed with the hate and negativity, and that works. We, on the opposite, should give the positivity. Nazi took over the entire chat, so that dude is a Russian troll, guys. Just kick him the fuck out of here, or her, or whoever.
I want to highlight this troll just for a second, though. Like,
Okay.
there's a YouTube creator called Ryan George Macbeth, and he makes some great videos about disinformation and bots. And the reason why Russia invests so much in bots and information warfare is because they are shit at fighting. Like they cannot. If you think about how Russia was seen in the world and how they're the second most powerful military in Ukraine, Russia invests so much in propaganda because they know they can never win in a fight against the West. So their only hope is to throw millions of dollars around trying to convince the people of those countries, please don't go to war with us because we know you're going to kick our asses if you do. Because Russia can't even figure out how to build a freaking pallet because they move and unload all their ammunition with their hands. You just saw that happen in the giant ammunition depot. Is that when you manually use your hands to unload ammunition from a train, they're going to leave it all dumped next to the rail yard because it's a lot of work to bring it all the way into a depot. If you just used a pallet, and you could just use a forklift, you could actually do it properly. And so I kind of laughed to myself because it's all the proof you need that Russia is just awful militarily, and it's just lots of dumb iron being thrown in mindlessly. And I think it's kind of like trolls like these that show it's only going to be a matter of time before Ukraine wins because this is really the best they can do.
That's why I always bet on Ukraine all the time. So I'd like to thank the bot in the comment for reminding me about this. Thank you, we love you, but not really. We actually
That bot started saying that he's not a bot and mods are doing a bad job, but mods are constantly, you see, kicking, banning people, and then he said, go fuck yourself, bye then. And Ihbodari said, just stop crying, mods here are great, and I agree with that. Mods, thank you for a great job, as always. Ignore chat and listen to message. Yeah, that dude is here to troll, guys. It's obvious trolling, just the other type of trolling, not the Russian trolling.
Yeah, they get paid for engagement. Like, it's...
Yeah, you see platforming Nazis. That dude should be banned.
No, but there's analytic software where like they can track the comments they leave and the people who reply to it, and the more people who reply to it, their handler. So this guy as a handler gets a paycheck for that.
Oh yeah,
It's like this guy's like sitting in his basement somewhere, you know, like got nothing better to do.
Well,
And he's just like, and honestly, this is the best he can come up with. Like, can you come up with something a little more original? Like, come on, that Nazis were words used in the 1940s. Please, something original that I haven't heard before.
Taxi cab. Are you here the first time? Have you found us through shorts? And tell me where you're from. Also, thank you. I think my comments are being blocked here. Hello, you know they exist. They probably were because YouTube is acting not very pro-Ukrainian lately. You know what? We only have 5 minutes to finish the stream. So first of all, I want to thank you everyone who's been here today. I thank you for your donations because 2 more of them came in. Katie asks, great conversation with a fellow American who I agree with 1,000%. $40. Thank you so much, Katie. Katie, please let me know if you want 4 tickets. Oh, you always want them, so 4 tickets for you. And Colonel Sun, if you're still there in the chat, let me know if you want, how many? 7 tickets. Do you know what we're raffling this week?
No, what are we raffling?
A flag from 22nd Mechanized Brigade Tank Battalion. There's an awesome tank. Well, I think it's an art, like a photo, but then it was photoshopped to become epic. Okay. So a Ukrainian tank, I think maybe T-72, so basically, no, maybe not. But anyway, it's a Ukrainian tank. We also have that T-63 that is a modernized version of the old one, which is basically a new tank.
Yeah.
So that tank, okay, it's an epic flag, and it is signed by the whole unit. We helped them with the car, and they sent me this flag. And I always raffle the stuff that soldiers send me. Okay, there are some exceptions. I'm keeping some cool stuff for myself, like patches. By the way, Holy Oblation, can I get a raffle ticket for Silver Earth, please? Of course, my friend, $15 for a ticket. So guys, yeah, we're raffling that thing, and we also hold the campaign for Nitro Truck, and the patch that you can get there, you probably got this one already. It was already on campaign. So Steffen got this one. This is the patch. Floki, the fighter. I remind you that she was my cat and she died almost a year ago. She was fighting a gravely disease. Both of her kidneys gave up, and I just wanted to commemorate her with this, and she already raised funds for 1 NAFO truck. This time, she is doing 2 NAFO trucks. For the 5th Assault Brigade.
She's gonna swat some Russians.
Yeah. 5th Assault Brigade, 2 units from the 5th Assault Brigade are getting both NAFO trucks. It were 2 separate requests, but magically it was 5th separate Assault Brigade.
Oh,
so
right
Steffen,
scrolling back.
Raffle for signed flag. Yes, my full bucks commented is blocked.
I think maybe I haven't blocked anybody. I'm watching you. You haven't blocked anybody either. Maybe it was.
Chris from HR, thank you for 5 more gifted memberships. Maybe I already thanked you, but why not do it again, right? You literally kicked regular donator over literal Nazis. No, it's maybe regular. Maybe it's just a misspelling. Just saying hello. Hello, Marcin, how you doing? Hope everyone is doing good. We do good, right? Really good. A bit tired?
It's been a great day so far. Like, it's gonna be
Hey.
a great weekend.
Hello, Johanna. How you doing? We're finishing the stream in 2 minutes, but I want Steffen to say like the last words for today. What do you think? Before we finish the stream, maybe
Say.
a call to
Call to action.
rollers, but not only to rollers, because we have some random people walking by the stream and noticing it. So let's hope we will also address.
I know what I want to say. I think being human, it's easy to focus on the trolls and the negativity sometimes, but I can also tell you, ever since I started to come to Ukraine in person, the number of people I've met just from all over the world who come to Ukraine to help, it's so inspiring. And I know that's happening in Ukraine, it's not happening on the other side. So I would try to say, like, try to focus on who actually shows up in person, who actually comes through. And I think that's why Ukraine's going to win.
Yeah.
Slava Ukraini.
Heroям слава. Thank you for that. Okay, so before we go, I want you to see your emojis there and enjoy them. Look.
Hey, there we go. Thank you, Lauren. Never thought I would see my face in this comment.
Johanna from Finland, does somebody know about the $8 billion for Ukraine that Professor Gerdes was telling about?
I don't know who Professor Drew is.
Biden announced a package for $7.9 billion yesterday. Zelensky shared this information. It was today.
Oh, it's the, I haven't looked into it yet.
It's such a speedy life that something that happened today seems that it was yesterday. Anyway, Zelensky announced that Biden announced that stuff, and there are no details about that package yet. Maybe they were there while we were sitting here and talking. Maybe the news appeared.
Maybe they watched the stream and it was Zelensky like put it in front of Biden's face and was like, see? This American makes sense.
Yep. Guys, don't forget to like the stream.
Operator Starsky, hey Starsky.
Look who I have here, Starsky. How you doing? Okay, so I think since we have Starsky here, we gotta make the stream a bit longer. I'm joking, Starsky. we gotta go.
Unfortunately, some people are waiting on me, but hopefully we can connect soon.
But it's cool that you came by. It's happy. I'm happy to see you, and it's good to see you.
We are happy to see you.
We are happy to see you. Yeah, not just me. You met Steffen in person in Amsterdam, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, recently. Yeah.
A few weeks ago? Month?
It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just 3 weeks ago. Great guy, right?
I'll give you half a heart. Half a heart. There
Okay.
you go.
Okay. Okay, guys, we need to finish. Lol, bro, Nick rented my ass for a stream in 20 minutes. Okay, have a great stream there on End Time Show, right? You're talking about the Nick from End Time Show. I wonder what that emoji means.
I don't know. Who knows? I know.
Yeah, no one knows. Okay, rollers, thank you for being here. Please give this one a like. Leave a comment after you finish.
I'm rolling your patch.
Yes.
Because
Thank
Rick Roller.
you. Rick Roller, thank you.
Get it?
It's I love puns, man. I love them. That's all. This one is awesome. Even though I'm not laughing, I love it. Now I'm laughing. Okay, so thank you, and thank you, Philip, for everything, guys. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for supporting our Name for Truck campaign. Please support it if you haven't yet. Please make a donation to get a patch with Floki or Stinger. There's also a second patch there, Stinger. Have you already got that one? I mean,
It's on the list.
have you donated?
It's on the list.
How?
It's on the list.
On the list. Okay, no problem. But the campaign will finish soon. Don't miss your chance. Okay. Thank you, guys. And live long and prosper. And Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini, Herom Slava.
We're finishing this.